Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to episode 4 of the Deu Awuok Show, where it is my job to interview professional and collegiate soccer players about their life's journeys around the beautiful game. On this episode, I speak with Abdi Salim, a recent first round draft pick playing for Orlando City in the Major League Soccer. Abdi was part of the Syracuse team that recently completed the sweep, winning the ACC regular season, the ACC tournament, as well as the national championship, and becoming only the second team to ever accomplish this feat. Amongst other things, we discussed his experience playing Division One soccer, winning the national championship, getting drafted to the MLS, as well as his welcome to the league moment, going up against Christian Benteke. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Abdi, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me.
What's good, baby? Thank you for having me, man.
How's Florida?
Shit, Florida right now, it's not too hot right now. It's a little cloudy, it's raining, but I mean, can't complain. Better than Buffalo.
Yeah, so you don't miss Buffalo at all?
Oh, no, no, no. I don't miss Buffalo.
Well, I
Nah,
appreciate you getting on. I know you're quite busy, so thanks again for joining. To get things started, why don't we start with a little introduction? Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you from, and all that kind of stuff.
all right, so my name's Abdi Salim. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I was born in Kenya.
Hmm.
Me and Dude we met in Buffalo. He was playing at Canisius, so through mutual friends and everything. But I mean, now I was fortunate enough to get drafted to the MLS last semester, so now I'm playing with Orlando City down in Orlando right now.
Nice, that's dope, man. I guess give our viewers a little, background. How did you get started with soccer? And who got you involved?
So basically, I really got involved through my cousins because it was kind of like a family sport, like
Yeah,
everyone really played it. So I really just got it through my cousins. At first, I wasn't really in love with the game, but like once I'm really seeing just the passion and everything that they were playing with, I was like, yeah, I got to do this. So I mean, plus I really had no choice. Everyone was doing it around me, so I'm like, all right, let me get into this too.
what age was that? And what did you play for a team, or was it just like pick up with friends?
I probably started probably around like maybe 8 around
Hmm.
there. I was pretty young, and I started playing with Delaware. I don't know if you know Delaware.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I started with Delaware. At first, I was playing pickup, just kind of just playing with my cousins and everything. But my first really organized one was probably with Delaware, and I played with them up until like I was like 13, and then that's when I moved to BSA Academy. They used to call it Buffalo Soccer Academy. So I was playing with them when I was around like 14. I left there and played with GPS. It's not GPS no more though. Rest in peace GPS, but
What are they called now?
it's like Buffalo Rush or something like that.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah,
when I was playing, I played for Cobras, and I remember that name because they were a pretty good team in Buffalo.
yeah. You played with what do they used to call them? The Rochester team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Cobras.
Cobras. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Cobras. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I used to play with GPS, but then they're not in business no more. And then after that, I just went to the academy and then college, and then shit. Here I am.
Nice. How did that come about? Going and being able to play for the academy. Tell us a backstory there.
So with the academy, so it's actually like a funny story. So with the academy, I was playing with. So you know how I played with BSA at first, right?
Yeah.
So when I was playing at BSA, I left BSA and went to GPS.
Uh-huh.
They were like, I mean, I don't blame them, but they were kind of like competing. They were competing for local soccer, like stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like they didn't really like each other or whatever. So I went to GPS, and while I was playing with GPS, I played there for like a year or two. And one of the kids that I used to play with on BSA, his dad actually reached out to the academy team and said, "Yeah, you guys got to look at this player like that." And then they hit me up. I went down there for like kind of like they were doing like a little, they call it play day, but it's like when they all scrimmage, like they just have fun. So I went over there. That was kind of my trial. When I went over there, bro, I had like this is the academy. They
Yeah.
not saying they got money, but they like all the players. They got the new stuff and everything. My cleats had like holes. I had a hole on my shoe, and one of the people that shit, he my good friend now, Gio. He played at Cuse with me too and everything.
Yeah.
He lent me his pair of shoes, and then I remember I just played and everything. After that, I was like, yo, I was telling my brother, I'm like, yo, I don't think I could play for this academy. Like, yo, they too good. Like these boys is like, I don't know what they feeding them, but they did. They're nice. So after that, when I kind of reached back to the academy, I told him, yo, I don't think I could play for the academy. Like I got stuff going on at home, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it was a week later or the day later, they bro, they pulled up to my house.
Wow.
They drove from Rochester, pulled up to my house.
That's all
Sat
the
with,
talent.
yeah, so sat with me on my porch and just told me like, yo, like you gotta come to the academy. Like if you try and take, you know what I mean, your game to the next level, you gotta come to the academy. And I'm gonna do it, you know? So it was a big
Wow.
sacrifice, but I'm happy I did it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, a lot of people don't realize this, but playing for the academy, it's a big sacrifice, right? You're like, one, you're not allowed to play high school soccer, so you miss out on that.
Yeah.
Two, you're like traveling a lot, right? Like for you, it was probably like 3 hours total, right? To Buffalo and Rochester, back and forth, and then you're traveling across the country to play games. So it's a big commitment, and it's a lot of sacrifices that come with it. I guess how did you make those? How did you make that decision to like decide to like pursue that route and give up the things you were giving up to be able to make it work?
So at first I was hesitant. So I was hesitant of like playing
Yeah,
with the academy. Obviously, just cause like, oh, it's all the way in Rochester, I'm all the way over here. Like, how I'm gonna get there and everything.
yeah.
They did like the whole carpool system. So like, bro,
Mm.
man, like high school, bro. Like, you know, high school, you'd want to go out like with your friends after school, grab like stuff to eat, this that. Bro, I didn't do none of that. Like, that's one of the things I had to sacrifice. So like, just sacrificing time with my friends after school. Right after school, I'd hop on a bus straight home, change, go straight to Rochester, come back around like 9 p.m., eat, go to sleep, repeat the same thing like four or five times a week. You know,
Yeah,
but man, that. It was a lot of sacrifice. So, I mean, even to this day, some of the people they call me boring because all I do is go to practice, come back. You know what I mean? But like, bro,
yeah.
that's the lifestyle I lived since I was like in high school because that's all I did. So I mean, I can't complain. I'm happy. I'm happy I made that sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, it paid off. You're playing professional soccer right now, and
Yeah, yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, I think for me, I've seen unfortunately a lot of kids get sidetracked and do other things and miss out on the opportunity or the talent that they had to be able to pursue it. And yeah, I'm just happy you were to kind of stay focused, stay disciplined, and achieve your goals. I guess any insights or thoughts on why you think you were to stay focused and not get distracted?
I think personally, I think I believed in my ability. So I think I was just like, yeah, this is the best thing for me. So I
Uh-huh.
shouldn't let anything else distract me. So I'm like, yeah, let me just put my head down and let me just focus on this. You know, like all this other little high school stuff. It's just fun, but like
Yeah.
I could relax when I'm done. You know, so I was like, let me just sacrifice this. It is what it is. Like I see my friends all the time at school. Like I don't gotta hang out with them all the time. So I was like, let me just do it. You know, see how it goes.
No, I respect that mindset, and it's what's required to be able to make it to that level. You mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the adjustment to the academy, right? What was that like? You're coming from pretty good level, right? GPS was pretty good level. I think it was Premier, but then the academy is like some of the best players in the country. So, what was that adjustment like, and how did you manage, right, the struggle of like maybe doubting yourself and being able to be confident enough to think you're actually there and deserve to be there?
So we come. I mean, we played pickup a lot. So we were
Yeah,
playing pickup. Rochester, Buffalo, same thing. So we played pickup a lot. I was just playing pickup. I was playing with GPS, and I
yeah,
wouldn't say Premier is like it's a good level, but it's not like the best level. You know what I mean? Obviously.
yeah,
So when I went to the academy, everything was so fast. I'm like, yo, like what's going on? Like because at first I was a midfielder when I was at GPS.
yeah.
So when I went there, I met some midfielders, like, they were, like, pass, like, left foot, right foot. I'm like, "Nah, I can't do this." Like, I would say they really emphasize the fundamentals,
Yeah,
basic stuff. They were really good at the basic stuff, and I obviously wasn't. I was just a ball of raw, you know what I mean, just talent,
yeah.
like
Raw talent.
yeah, so I didn't really have, like, the fundamentals. So when I went over there, I'm like, "Yo, they got everything to the T," you know? So, I mean, I had to get used to it. I ain't get used to it for a long time, but it's good. I mean, I use my athleticism to help out with it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what you and your parents be feeding you, but your brother, you guys got some crazy hops, bro. It's unbelievable. Like, I don't know how you guys do it, but like you guys could just jump like
bro,
crazy.
believe it or not, I didn't know I could jump until I went to the academy.
Oh, really?
While I was at GPS, I was just dribbling, I didn't really use my athleticism. I knew I was fast. I didn't know I was fast.
Yeah,
I didn't really know I could jump because I didn't care about stuff like that. But when I went to the
yeah.
academy, we used to do testing and all that, and I'm like, yo, like, I'm not fat, like I'm not that
Yeah.
bad at. So, but it's good though. It really opened up. I would say the academy opened up another level of my game. Just it was really organized, you know. So I'm happy I
Hmm.
did that.
No, fair, fair. And then after academy, you decided to go to Buffalo State. So give us some insight into your recruiting process and why you chose to go to Buff State over other schools that were probably looking at you at that time.
Man, Buff State, man, Buff State. So when I left the academy, I had D1 interest. I had D1 interest,
Hmm.
but at the time, um, I was commuting all the time to Rochester. I wasn't the best. I wasn't really keeping up with school, you know. So my grades weren't they were good, but they weren't like the
Yeah.
best. You know? Like I didn't know you needed the SAT. I didn't know you needed the AC. I
Yeah.
didn't know you needed none of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just playing the play. And a lot of the schools, you know, we did a lot of showcases and schools would come watch stuff like that. So schools would like text me and be like, "Yo, like, what's your SAT score? What's your ACT score?" And
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, "Where do I find that?" I'm like, "Where do I find that?"
Yeah.
So, so we did the so I was sending my SAT. I think it was like a 10-10, so it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't like
Yeah.
obviously the best. So a lot of the schools that were interested in me, they were saying they wanted me to go to a community college
Mm.
in their area before I commit to the school. You know what I mean? So let's just say for example, let's say UCLA.
Yeah.
Let's say UCLA wanted me. They let's say so they told me go to a community college around the area. So after you do 2 semesters, get your grades good, we'll bring you in the spring. I'm just like, bro, I'm not trying to do that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to community college stuff like that. I'm not trying to do all that. So I was in class one day. I was skipping class actually. I was skipping class and my brother called me. He's like, "Yo, blah blah blah." Like we just chatting it up, and I'm telling him, you know, what I mean, keeping him in tune with the schools that I'm going to or the schools I'm looking at. He's like,
Yeah.
the joke. He was with the coach, and the coach is like, "Hey, come to Buff State." I'm just like, man, like I just told you all these D1 schools, and you telling me to come to Buff State. I really told him my situation, and he was just like,
Yeah.
"Hey, for real, like if you really can't go your first year, why not come this year? You know what I mean? Try to win a lot of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You achieve stuff as a team, you achieve stuff individually, and then leave." Originally, I was supposed to stay there like 2 years. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay here for 2 years, then I'm gonna go. Uh, I was just like, and then I mean, shit, the rest is history. I went to Buff State one
Yeah.
semester, yeah, one semester, and got out of there.
That's crazy. And I mean, to your earlier point about the grades part, right? Like, especially if you come from the backgrounds that we come in, right? Where you're like a first gen and you're like the first in family to go to college, you're not aware of all these other things that are required, right? So a lot of times you might just focus on soccer and not really, you know, pay the attention you need to on the academics. And I remember my first time that I found out about the SAT was through the coach, right? He was recruiting me. He's like, "Yeah, so have you taken the SAT?" And I'm like, "What is that?" He's like,
That's what I'm
you need to take that,
saying.
you need to take it to get clear, right?" And I'm like, "Oh crap." And I went to like I was fortunate, I had like a scholarship. I was like at a private school and stuff, but I still didn't know what it was, right? And I literally didn't study for it. I just went and took it, right? So a lot of times people like, and I have friends now who spend a whole year studying for it, you know. But sometimes you just don't know. But I mean, it worked out for you, which is awesome. So after a great first year at Buff State, right, where you won everything you could possibly win, right? You won Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, first team All Conference. You then transferred to Syracuse. Um, Talk to us about actually first. How did your brother feel about you winning defensive player of the player of the year ahead of him? Because I know there's some competition in our house. I have the same thing in my house where my younger brother thinks he's better than me. But how did he feel when you got that award ahead of him?
I think so. So my brother, he always thought he was better than me. He always thought he was better. I would say personally, I would say when I got to the academy, I'll say I was better than him after that. When I went to state, he really didn't watch me play. Like he just heard, "Oh, you played here." You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So when we actually played on the same team throughout the season, he's like, "Yo, you actually might be better than me." And then once all the awards came, he's like, "Yeah, you got it. Like you got it."
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he's like,
Respect.
so he didn't really say nothing. I mean, I was shocked myself, but he didn't really say nothing. He was kind of just like, "Yeah, you got it, bro. Like, ain't no more competing now."
That was a funny story. Actually, another funny story with your brother. I was playing against him. This was like in the winter time, right? I just done my season with Canisius, and I think our club team, like our club team, was like, "Hey, come play for us." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." I went and guest played for them, and it was against your brother's team. I didn't know him at this time yet, so I'm playing against him. I'm getting on the ball, I'm dribbling. They can follow me. I get on the ball. I'm like the whole game they're following me. So I'm complaining to the ref. I'm like, "Ref, you got every time they follow me, I go down complaining. Ref, like, come on, protect me, tough." And then I go down, and he comes to me like, "Bro, stop! You're embarrassing us Africans." And bro, that whole game, I zipped it. I was like, "Damn, that boy right." I was like, I get fouled. I said nothing. I got fouled. I said nothing. But it was funny because I didn't even know him, and he literally came up to me and was like, "Bro, stop complaining. You're making us Africans look bad." And I was like, "Damn, it's like that, okay." And I was literally zipped. I zipped the whole game. Um, I guess so. After a great season at Buff State, you then transferred to Syracuse. Talk to us about how the opportunity came about and your decision to join them.
So with Syracuse, I was so they were already connected to the academy because they one of the Syracuse coaches, he coached at the academy or something like that. So they were really connected already. So when I was training, I was playing at the academy. Like I already knew the coaches personally. Like they watched me
Hmm.
play, they did all that. But they were showing interest, but they weren't really crazy interested in me. So
Yeah.
when I went to Buff State and after that season I had, they were just like, "Yo, like it's time. Like you got to come to Q's." And I'm like, I'm like, bet. I can't say no to Q's. It's close to
Yeah.
home. It's a good program. So I'm like, I bet. I'm gonna go. So I was already connected to them before that. So
Nice, nice. And I guess after that year with Buff State, you were still playing. I think you were still playing because you were still young enough. So you're still playing for the academy, right? And they were able to kind of see
man,
some of your games
I
during the
don't know.
showcase.
I don't know how they did that. I don't know how the academy coaches pulled that off, but
Yeah,
I mean, that really helped me though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, so after the Buff State season, because I mean, they were disappointed that I went to Buff State just because it was
yeah,
D3 and like I mean I was a good player, so they wanted me to go D1 right away. So
yeah,
they were disappointed I went D3, so they were kind of just like, okay, you're gonna come to the academy one more
hmm,
year
yeah,
or this showcase, and then you're going D1 after that. I'm like, all right,
yeah,
let's do it. So because originally after that season, I didn't really have I wasn't talking to Cuse or anything. Like I was supposed to go to U Albany 100% full.
uh,
I was like probably 80% committed to U Albany before the
uh-huh.
upstate season ended. So I went to the showcase. I mean, I didn't even ask questions. I'm like, how am I in college and I'm playing this what I
Yeah.
mean, showcase. I played the showcase and it was like, bro, I got so many coaches just trying to, what I mean, telling me, yo, you gotta come, you gotta come, you gotta. I'm like, dang, like I felt like I was on top of the world.
Yeah,
So after leaving that showcase, bro, I had a lot of good options. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But Cuse was there. Cuse was there. They watched every game. They watched every one of my games. They're like, okay, you're ready. So after that, they just told me, all right, pull up. Like it's time. Let's do it.
That's dope, man. I mean, you had the opportunity and you took full advantage of it. So kudos to you. I guess transitioning to the Division 1 level, you made that transition look very easy, right? Like, I remember watching your first game, right? I'm thinking like we played that one pickup, and I was like, I haven't seen you play that much, so I'm thinking in my head he's maybe he gets some minutes his first year, gets adjusted, and then second he might play. And I'm watching the game, and I'm like, this guy's starting. So I'm like, okay, great, he's starting. And as I'm watching the game, bro, you were obviously by far the best player on the pitch. And I was like, "Damn, this boy really got it like that. Like he's gonna go pro." I guess talk to us about that adjustment. Was it as easy as you made it seem? And then what do you think helped you make that transition so much and so effortlessly?
So it wasn't. It definitely wasn't easy. I'm not gonna lie. So when I knew I was going to Cuse, it
Hmm.
was the COVID hit. So it was the spring of Buff State. I was in the spring of my freshman year. I was still at Buff State. They just shut down all the schools. Like we at home, and I'm still going to Q's, and I'm like, bro, I'm not playing right now. So how am I gonna be ready for Q's? So COVID year, bro, I was just in my basement, just pop, pop, lifting. But I was just lifting crazy. Like I'm lifting, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, because I'm like, yo, because the coach even told me. The coach told me like, when you come here, you're competing against like the defenders are seniors. You know what I mean? You're a freshman.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, yo, I gotta go there. And I gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta show them what's up. And I was already in like, I'm like, yo, it's Syracuse, it's ACC. Like, I'm gonna go there and like, I'll probably play my second year. You know what I mean? Stuff. Like that. So I'm like, at least let me be ready. So I'm doing that. I'm doing all, but I didn't do no fitness though. Don't get me wrong. That's
it
what
was kind of
fitness is important, very important. I didn't do the fitness part. So
Yeah.
I'm lifting, I'm just doing whatever the basic stuff, and I get the cues in my first. But we were doing bubble training, so like it was
Yeah.
we could only train in bubbles because COVID and all that. So like we were doing rondos, and I'm just like, man, fuck this. Like, yeah, like, well, we training with 4 people right now. I'm not even with the team. You know, we're separated, so like I wasn't taking it serious. Not taking it serious. So some of the guys like they're seniors now. Like I played with them last year. They're like, but when we first met you, we thought you were so bad because like rondos, you look like you don't even care, like blah blah. But when it's time to play, you're over here doing this, doing that. So I'm just like, yeah, I mean, fuck. It is what it is. I'm not really a
Yeah.
trained player, but I would say the adaptation just mainly focusing on my strengths. I wasn't really focused on my weaknesses because I knew that it'd come over time, you know, especially with the
Mhm.
level I'm at. So I was just trying to be ready for the ACC level because they were hyping it up. Coach was hyping it up like, yo, that ACC best, and you're playing the best players in the league, and I'm zoned
Yeah.
in, gotta be ready. So just basically just focusing on my strengths, you know. So I just went there, you know, jumped, ran, like stuff like that.
I mean, that's probably a good plan because I mean, as I'm sure you're well aware, the college level, especially the D1 level, is very athletic. And you were dominating back there, very aggressive, very calm on the ball too. Um, you had a great start to the your career at Syracuse, right? Starting the first 8 games in your first year there, before you unfortunately tore your ACL and missed the rest of that season and the following season. I guess talk to us about the injury, what happened, and how tough was that to deal with?
Man, that joint that joint took a toll on me. You feel me? But the
Yeah,
ACL, bro, I just came from Puff State. I won this, I won this, I won this. Came to Cuse. I'm starting, I'm playing this, I'm playing that. I'm feeling all like I'm on top of the world. Like nothing can stop me. And then the spring season came, boom. First five, bro. And the crazy thing is like, so I don't know if you see like on Instagram, like when I have a game, I never post game day, like or game.
yeah,
I never post game day. But this time, like I just committed a Qs. Like I was playing that Qs, playing that Qs. We were playing in Buffalo, so I'm like, yo, I want all my Buffalo boys to pop out. Like it's Q soccer, you know, D1 and blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. So I posted on my IG game day. I was like, yo, game day, or the picture of the game day. They put me for the poster and everything. Like game
Nice,
day.
nice.
I'm like, oh, so I posted it. So I go in, like all my boys is there. First 5 minutes of the game, bro. Like I went to go to the striker, trying to like clear the ball out, and I just lunge and I fall on my right knee and just like it just felt like it just gave out like pop, like whatever, you know. So I'm
Wow.
like, damn. I'm like, yo. And then the coach is yelling at me like, cause you know he's intense, you know. He's like, get up, get up. I'm like, coach, I can't like I'm like, he's like, get up, get up. I'm like, coach, I'm trying, like. You know, so I'm just laying on the floor. And the thing about the ACL, like I don't know, people say it's painful. Like
Yeah.
my body was just numb. My leg was numb.
Wow.
Couldn't feel nothing. So I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
my leg numb. I can't move. So I try to get up and I try to walk, and I'm like, nah, I can't continue. So they picked me up or whatever, and I'm like, damn, my boys came. I only played 5 minutes, and you know what I mean. They came
Wow.
to watch me play. So I did that, and then I go back home. But the ACL after like an hour, that's when you feel it though.
Wow.
Bro, I felt that's bro. I don't know if everyone got it, but when I tore my ACL, I felt the pain all the way up to like my back. Like it just shot up my whole leg. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It
Yeah.
just felt like that, and I'm sitting on the bus, and I'm like uncomfortable, and I'm like, nah, this ain't right. I'm like, this ain't right. Because I had did my knee before I did my MCL, but MCL heals itself and all that. So I'm like, yeah, this ain't right. So my the MRI goes, and then I'd get the MRI, and then I mean, before the ACL, like I felt fine. I was doing the little ladder shit. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm good. You know what I mean? It's probably the bone bruise or a little overstretched something. You know what I mean? It's good. And then they even the trainers are telling me, yo, it's good. Like your ACL is good. Everything's good. All the ligaments are good. You probably got a bone bruise, something like that. And
Yeah.
then I get the MRI. I remember like they were just saying we were all laughing, like we were all joking around because the way I felt, the way I was moving, it
Hmm.
felt like it felt
Wasn't serious?
yeah, it felt like it wasn't serious. So like we're all just joking, you know what I mean? We're laughing. And I take a seat, the doc's going through my MRI, zooming in, blah blah. And then he zooms in and then he just looks back at me and I'm like, well, what up, doc? What happened? I'm still laughing. I'm like, yeah, what up, doc? And then he tells the trainer looks back at me, he's like, "Come here," and I'm like, so I get, and then he's like, "Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie to you, like your knees like bad, like you messed it up." So
Wow.
I'm like, damn, what happened? So my ACL wasn't fully torn; it was
Yeah.
partially torn. With a
Oh.
partially torn ACL, you still gotta do surgery. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
was partially torn, and then my lateral meniscus on the side was torn. My I had cartilage damage, so I had like a hole inside my knee or something like that. And I'm like, damn, this all happened from that little, you know what I mean, from that little tackle or whatever I did. They're like, it could have probably been from like stuff before, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but your knee is like messed up. I'm like, well, I'm
Wow.
feeling good right now, you know. So I'm just denying it. I'm like, nah, like it's not, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, this real life. I really tore my ACL. Like, damn, you know.
Wow.
And you know, ACLs. You know, when you hear ACL, you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So automatically, I'm thinking, yo, I'm out for like a year type shit. Like, I just, you know what I mean? I'm probably gonna be ass when I get back. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to be. I don't even know if I'm gonna run fast. I don't know if I could cut. Like, bro, it's crazy, bro. So I did that, and then the surgery came, and at first I'm like, I'm not gonna get the surgery. Like, I'm cooler, you know. But
Yeah.
then like, nah, get the surgery, it'll be better. So I was like, yo, if my ACL is partially torn, can I finish the rest of the season and then just get the surgery after? Because it was partially torn. We had like six
Yeah.
games left, and we were about to play Clemson. I'm like, yo, it's Clemson,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, we about to play Clemson. Like, can I just, you know what I mean, heal, whatever, do the little recovery, finish the season, and then get the surgery after? They're like, but think about it, you're gonna get the surgery after, you're just gonna push your date back more and more and more. Like, if you want to be back before the fall, you gotta get the surgery
Mm.
now. So I'm like, let me just do the surgery, you know. So I did the surgery.
How long did it take for you to recover from the injury?
I'll probably say a good like 9 months.
Wow. So
9 months.
then you missed the rest of that season, and you missed the next season, your junior year.
Yeah. So I toured in February. Um, I was laser focused. I'm like, yo, I'm coming back in 6 months. Like, I gotta come back
Yeah.
in 6 months. I gotta be back before August so I could play the season because I'm like, I gotta get drafted. I gotta get out of here. You know what I mean? Can't do more
Yeah.
than I can't do more than 4. I can't graduate. You know. So I'm like, yo, I gotta do 6 months, do this recovery in 6 months, and I'm like, that's it. So it's 5 months come, 6 months come, bro. 6 months I still can't even like run properly. I'm like, yo,
Wow.
I'm behind schedule. But I wasn't really behind schedule. It was just I wasn't like, you're not gonna be ready in 6 months on the ACL. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like, yo, 6 months, like, yo, 6 months. I'm telling the trainer, yo, why I'm not jumping yet. We didn't even do nothing yet in 6 months.
Yeah.
You're not even putting me on the field yet, you know? So
Yeah.
then, so the plan was to be back before, like, towards the end of preseason, and then play the fall. But then it got pushed back to come back mid-season. So I'm like, okay, mid-season, that's cool. I still got like whatever 10 games to show myself and all that. So it comes. I'm playing. I'm practicing. I'm not doing too much. Doing this. I'm doing that. Mid season comes, and I'm still not ready. I'm like, yo,
Wow.
I'm not feeling good. You know, I'm like, if I wanted to play, I'd play, but I'm not feeling like I could play. So I'm like, it's a dub. Like, mid season is a dub. So they're like, you just might have to rest her. Like,
Yeah.
probably won't even come back at the end of the season. I'm like, yeah. Obviously, it's not something I want to do, but I mean, if it's towards the end, I started to accept, like, maybe month 7, I started to accept that it was just about patience. Like, this injury is
Yeah.
patience. If you come back if you come back, your body's not ready, you just gonna mess up your body again. But if you come back, if you really patient with it, when you're really ready to play, just play. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, let me just be patient. If I'm not ready, I'm not gonna play. So it's whatever. So the whole season comes, and I don't play the season. But literally, the last game of the season, we played UNC in the ACC playoffs. But the
Hmm.
coach takes me because he thinks I'm ready to play. So he takes me to the game. But I'm not ready to play. I still
Yeah.
have my brace on. I have all that. He's like, yo, if you're ready to play, come play. I'm like, I can play. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, I don't think I
Yeah.
can play. I know it's the ACC and all, but I don't think I could play. I haven't played in 9 months. I haven't touched a ball in 9 months. And you
Yeah.
hop in the game right away. I'm like, bro, I don't think I could play.
Yeah.
And plus, the rules, eligibility rules. If I
You
played
play
like
one. Wait 1 minute. You're done.
yeah, 1 second, once I step on the field, that's my year right there. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, coach, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not playing. You could
Yeah.
bring me for support, but I'm not playing, bro. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I missed that whole year, bro. So I realistically only played last year was realistically my first full year at Cuse.
That's crazy. I mean, and to think, you're probably you were at Buff State, won all these awards. Then you go and you're starting on this top program at the Division One level, and then to have that happen and be out for a year, almost a whole year.
And it-
It's like the ups and the down. It's crazy. I guess how did you deal with that mentally? I remember texting you and just telling you to like be positive, like just trust the process and not get too down on yourself. How did you deal with the process of just being outlined of being sidelined for that long?
it was it was tough. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. It was tough.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it was but it was days where like you're doing the recovery, you feel like, let's say for example, I'm on month 3, and month 3 is jogging, right? So
yeah.
one day I'd feel good jogging. I got the mechanics. I'm good. Next day I can't jog. Like I can't move at all. So
Wow,
like, damn. So one day you feel like you're on a straight
you're making
path.
progress.
Yeah. Next day you're like, bro, I'm just right back to phase one. So
Yeah, yeah,
there was a lot of days like that. A lot of days like that. And then with the ACL, after you get the surgery, you can start walking and all that, right? I
yeah.
tore my meniscus, so for the first month of recovery, I couldn't put my right leg on the floor. Like I couldn't walk.
Wow.
So for 1 month, bro, I'm just like, yo, I'm sleeping on the couch. Like I'm doing everything on the couch. Like, I'm living on the couch, bro. So I'm like, yo, like fuck this shit. Like I don't, you know what I mean? And then all those doubts, like toward once you get, let's say, get month 6, you get back to running, bro. Like it felt like I couldn't like even run. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
forgot to run, and I'm like,
your
damn,
body was not the same.
yeah, like bro, I forgot how to run. And then the Olympic testing comes, like it's preseason. We're doing the sprint test and sprint test. I'm like top 3 all the time.
Yeah,
But sprint test, I'm bottom. I'm like bottom 3. I'm like, and I felt physically fine. And I
yeah,
sprint and I got one of the worst times. Like I matched up with one of the slowest people on the team, and I'm like, bro, did I really just lose all my speed? Like it's over. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
so it was just like stuff like that. Like some days you really feel like what I mean, you're making progress. Next days you're like, yeah, I'm not the same. I don't feel the same. I don't think I felt the same until even after I made my recovery, 9 month full recovery. Like I did the full spring and everything. Even after I made the recovery, like throughout the spring season, like I didn't feel like I was 100%. Like I was like, yo, I'm not playing to the best. What I mean? I'm not playing the best of my ability. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
It takes time. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah, it takes time. So like mentally, like I was physically ready 9 months, but mentally, I don't think I was ready till like a year because I was just like, yo, I'm not myself right now. I'm not playing like myself. Like I just gotta lock in. But it was good though. It was good. It definitely, I would say the ACL. I wouldn't say it was the best thing that happened to me, but it matured. You
Okay.
feel me?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
matured me because
yeah,
before above state, pickup. We just come, we stretch. We don't even stretch.
yeah. No, yeah,
This, little that, and we go play. So even when I was at Cuse, I had that habit. Like I'm like, all right, like let me just play. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing recovery. I'm not, what I mean, I'm not eating. I'm not doing this. But with the
yeah,
PCL rehab, I had to do that. You know what I mean? If I
yeah,
didn't do that, I
yeah,
wasn't gonna figure. So I'm stretching before this. I'm eating. I'm sleeping. I'm doing it. So it just got me ready. You know what I mean? Like it matured me. And even the
yeah,
coach said, the coach is like, before the ACL, you were a kid, but now you're mature because
yeah.
now you really take care of your body, stuff like that. I'm still not really good at taking care of my body, but what I mean, it's
You're getting there.
you know what I mean, yeah. But imagine if that never happened to me. I would have probably just been one of them. I would have probably still just been doing whatever I'm doing. You know what
Yeah. And it probably prepare you for the professional ranks, right? Because like you have to be disciplined and you take care of your body, especially when I have longevity, right? So I think that experience, while not great, probably helped you prepare you right for what was to come and being a professional soccer player.
I mean? Yeah. So when they say God's timing, He got something better for when you're low. It's true, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? All the hardships help you in the long run. So that it really helped me. It matured me. So I'm not grateful for that. I'm grateful for that.
I understand. You came back your senior year and picked up where you left off, right? Helping Syracuse, complete the sweep, right? Winning the ACC regular season, winning the Conference Championship, winning
Man,
the national championship. You
man,
won everything you could have possibly won, right? Like, um, talk to us about. First of all, congrats. That's an amazing achievement. I don't know how many teams can. I don't have any. Another team has done it in the past before.
one other team in history, bro.
Okay, yeah. So like, you guys. two teams, that's ever done it. So it's like an unbelievable achievement. So first of all, congrats, and then talk to us about the experience and what was that like? Did you guys? What were the expectations for the team, right, going into that season? Were you guys expecting to be that good? And I guess maybe when did it click and then you like realize, hey, actually we could be up there for one of the best teams in the country.
So, bro, I'm gonna be honest. It started in preseason. So preseason came, like we're getting this news that, I mean, obviously, like I was coming back, so that was probably a good help, you know. So I was getting back.
Hmm.
We just got some new players. We got two of damn arguably the best duo in the fuck. You know what I mean? In college
Yeah,
soccer, of college
yeah,
soccer,
yeah,
there was Nate and Levante. So they
yeah.
they were coming in, and I was back. We had a couple other transfers, and like just throughout the preseason, we're like, oh, like we not that bad because the season before that we won like I don't know, 5 games or something like that, not a lot. But then
Yeah.
the season comes, and then we're like, yo, we're not that bad, you know. We alright. So preseason, we play the preseason games. We score. We do this, and then mid season or the beginning of the season, we go like 3-0, and we're like, yo, you know, like we doing alright right now. So it keeps going. It keeps going. It keeps going. And then boom, we play Clemson, and Clemson won the Natty the year before that. So they were number one team in the
Hmm.
country. We're like, okay, this is the test, you know. So
Yeah.
we go to Clemson. We played Clemson. We beat them two. I think it was 2-1, 2-0, one of those. And after that game, we're like, yo, like we got it. Like we nice, you know. So after that game, we're like, yo, we're nice. And then we just kept going, kept going, kept going. And then for like every week, we were just, you know, when they released the United Side coaches like the rankings,
Rankings, yeah,
we're like top. First, we were 22. We're hyped 22. Like, oh, you know what I mean? We're 22 in the country.
yeah,
And then we just keep going 16. Then we go like 8, 12, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, we top five, and we like top five for like the rest of the season. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
we remain top five, top 10 the rest of the season. And we're like, all right,
Wow.
we're actually good. Like, you know what I mean? We went undefeated for like, I think it was like 9 games, and then we lost to a team, and we're like, yo, we got to get back. You know what I mean? Because we were one of the only undefeated teams in the country.
Yeah,
Like, okay, we got to get back to what we got to do. So we just kept going, kept going, kept going. We remained undefeated. We lost again, and then we haven't lost to this day. Like even if we played right now,
wow.
we're gonna lose. You know what I mean? So
That's crazy.
yeah, so we still undefeated.
That's unbelievable. I mean, what was the experience like winning the national championship, right? The first in the school's history, and especially for you, given that everything you've been through over the last year or so. I guess describe that feeling for us and what the experience was like.
So I mean, I'll start off with the ACC. So ACCs in general, we had a good ACCs record just for the
Hmm.
league. And then our first like major trophy, I would say it came with the regular season title. So
Yeah,
we won the regular season title, and we're like, oh, you know what I mean? We actually got a title, you know. So it's the first time
yeah,
since 2015, and I remember my captain. He made a joke in the locker room because I mean, sometimes you can't dream too big, you know.
yeah,
He
yeah,
made a joke in the locker room. He's like, "Oh, ACC's next," and I just looked at him like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah,
ACC playoffs come, or we win the first game, win the second game, win the third game. Next thing you know, we're in the finals, and I'm just like, bro, we're really in the finals, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, who would have thought? So we won the finals, and I'm like, no way, you know what I mean? So no way we won that, and like not even a week later, it's time for NCAA's. And I remember when we won the ACCs, we went to the locker room, and he was like, I told you, Natty next. And I'm like, all right, now you drag. I'm like, all right, now you dragging it. You crazy if you think we win the Natty. Like, come on, bro. Let's be realistic, you know?
yeah,
So like, he's like, no, bro, I'm telling you, Natty, I want everything. So like, we already won one, we won two. We're like, we're going for the treble, and I'm just like, come on, let's be realistic. Like, we could go
yeah,
for it. If it happens, it happens. But
yeah,
there's not a good chance, you know. So
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
all right, if it happens, it happens. Let's do it. And we had a big meeting. We had a meeting with the coach, and it was like kind of a mountain. It was cringy to us. We're like, come on, coach, like, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, we gotta get to mountain two, mountain three. We won the ACC, so we went to mountain three, and
yeah.
he's like mountain five. It's like his words was, we got to do something legendary, and then we got to win the Natty. And I'm looking over. I'm like, come on, like who you think? You know what I mean? Like, ain't no way, bro. But shit, but we first game. It's five. First of all, we just played, I think it was like 3 or 4 games for the ACC. but we had
Yeah.
to play 5 games to get to the national final. I'm like, "Bro,
Yeah.
5 you really think we gonna win 5 games?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, 5 games, so I'm like, "Alright." So we played the first round, we win it. No, we didn't play the first round because we won the ACCs,
You got the buy.
and we were at the time, we were number 3 in the country going into the
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I'm like, "Alright." Second round comes, we okay. Third round comes, okay. Fourth round comes, okay. Next thing you know, we in the Final Four, and I'm like, "Hold on." Like, you know, Final Four, and I'm like, "Oh, you know?" So Final Four comes, and I'm like, "Bro, if we go into the like at first we told ourselves if we go to the Final Four, we are not losing. Like we're not
Yeah.
losing to go to the Final Four. We make it to the Final Four, and we're like, oh, shit, what now? Like we're in the Final Four, and like, bro, it's like the semifinal game. Bro, I just remember it was in a stadium, a nice stadium. I ain't never played in a stadium like that before. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, up until now, obviously, but at the time, I'm like, bro, we're in a stadium. Like, yo, this the grass is perfect. Like, cameras is
Yeah.
out. Like, I'm like, yo, we really here, you know? So it comes, bro. We're on the team bus, but we're being escorted by police, and I'm like, yo, like we really here in the
Legit. This is legit.
in the Final Four. And then we win that game. Shit, what a game though. We win that game, and then we in the final, and I'm like, yo, what the, you know? Like we in the final, like we just sitting like Nate was my roommate, and I'm like, bro, like we really in the national championship final. Like we literally played from day one college soccer, day one whenever it started, August 26th, to the
Yeah.
last day of college soccer, December
Wow.
12th. Like we really,
Unbelievable.
you know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, like we really gotta win. Like we gotta win this shit. Like there's no way we're losing this shit. We ain't come this far. We gotta win this shit. So the game comes. I don't like. I get nervous during the games, but bro, I won't even lie to you. I was nervous. Like this game. I'm like, dang, you know what I mean? Like, I don't usually listen to music. No,
Yeah.
I usually listen to a couple music, but this
Yeah.
game, I was on the bus listening to nothing because I was so nervous. I'm like, bro, these cameras are out, and I'm a senior, you know, so I'm
Yeah.
a senior. It's my last game,
Yeah.
a lot of our last games, and like, I was nosy. I was being nosy. I was throughout the season, I was tuning into like the draft, mock draft, and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. Like I seen my name, it was like second round, blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
then towards the end, I see my name again, second round, and like I remember it was they released what was that? I forgot what it was called. Like when they invite people, combine.
The combine, the MLS combine, yeah.
My name wasn't there. I'm like,
Wait, hold up. You didn't get invited to the combine?
I didn't, not even you know what I mean? Like
No way.
I felt I was like top 5, top 10 in the country. You know what I mean? Like as a
No way.
defender,
You
as a
didn't
defender.
you didn't get invited to the combine.
Yeah, no, I didn't. So I felt personally, I felt top 5, top 10 in the country for you know what I mean for defenders. And I'm like, I felt real confident. But I didn't get no invite. So when they released the list, I'm like, damn, my name not even on it. But like, it made sense because a lot of the people that were in the Final Four weren't on the list.
Mhm.
But like, I got inside scoop. I wasn't even on the original list. I'm like, fuck, you know, like it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I used that whole college cup. You know what I mean? That tournament or whatever. I used that as like, yo, y'all gotta see why y'all didn't put me on the list. Y'all gonna see why y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
this game, I'm like, yo, I'm locked in. Like, bro, all the MLS scouts were there, all the scout. Like, I'm like, yo, we have to win. Like, we got to play good. Like, this is the time for all of us, you know. And then we line up. Like, once you hit the field, you know, it's the nerves are gone, you know.
Yeah.
But I ain't never stood in the national anthem with fireworks. The fireworks come, boom. I'm like, yo, what the? Like, I remember, like, I can't find the video, but while the national anthem was going on, the fireworks and like, you know what I mean, all that. Like, I ain't never seen fireworks on the field. Like, I was never that close.
Yeah.
Fireworks
Yeah.
come. I'm looking over to my mans. I'm like, yo, we really here? Like, yo, we really in the final. And then the kid in front of me, like, he's scared too. I'm like, bro, I'm scared. I'm scared just like you. Like, we really in the final. And then,
Wow.
yeah, the final went to penalties. But it was written to happen. Like, it was just written to happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you didn't get that far just to get that far. It's
Normally, yeah,
unbelievable story.
it was written.
And you guys are gonna get you to get better, and like the stand is there now. Like everybody's gonna want to go to Syracuse, and as you guys already top school before this, but like it just elevates you guys to that next level now. Winning all three, like it's unbelievable. Like it doesn't happen often, right? As shown that only one other team has done it in the past. But that 2022 Syracuse team was something else. Like in terms of the talent, right? I think half the starters went professional. And in terms of the fact that you won everything, right? You making the argument for arguably the best college team ever, which is unbelievable. Um, I guess, do you like sometimes look back and you're like, wow, we actually did that, or I guess, what are your thoughts as you like reflect on that experience?
Nah, at first it was at first I didn't know how to feel because I'm like I see people when the girls won the NCAA like the basketball, like people are
Yeah,
crying and I didn't cry. I didn't like. I'm just like I didn't know how to feel. Like you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It didn't sink in.
Yeah, obviously I'm happy. I was excited and everything, but it didn't really hit me until like a couple months after. Like I'm going through my snap memories. I'm like, yo, like I really like, I miss all that. You know what I mean? It's hitting me like, yo, we really just did all that shit. You know what I mean? If there was a trophy, we won it. Like we really won everything.
Yeah,
It's
everything you could have possibly won.
I reminisce about it all the time, bro. Like yo, because
Yeah,
the memories was fun. Like everything was fun. Like everything.
and it will be. It's there forever. You go back, your grandkids. You should go tell them about it. You show them about it. Like, it's gonna be there forever.
That's like it's. I mean, I'm happy. I took it. I mean, we all took advantage of the time that we had together and everything. It's not like we took it for granted, but man, like I'm gonna forever remember that. Like it's crazy. I reminisce about it. I even hung up. I hung up the ACC one right there.
Nice.
The one right there. Bro, the cleats I wore are up there. Like, no, those cleats, though, those cleats. I made my debut and everything in those cleats, so I had to hang those up.
Nice. That's dope. So after that amazing season, and despite not getting invited to the combine, you're drafted in the first round, 17th overall by Orlando City, in the major league draft. Um, Talk to us about the events leading up to the draft. Did you like get any insights from the coaches about them wanting you to sign for them, and what was going on behind the scenes leading up to the draft?
So pretty much, like after the NCAA, it was kind of when the coaches really started like, I wouldn't say recruiting, but really started looking at who they wanted to take and everything.
Hmm.
Like I'd speak to my agent, and he gave me like the scoop of like who he talked to, who reached out to him, stuff like that. And I just remember after because we finished the tournament like December 13th or whatever, December 14th. I drove home and I just remember like from like 10 a.m. all the way to like 6 7 p.m. Bro, I just had like meeting.
Wow.
It was with teams, like teams like they try to get to know you before they draft you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they try to get to know you outside of soccer, so they try to get to know you as a person, stuff like that. So I had like meetings with a couple of teams and everything, and I'm just like, yo, it's really it might happen, And the coach, I mean, my agent is telling me like worst case scenario, like you'll get drafted first round, if not high second round, and I'm like, oh, like that's that's nice, But like
Yeah.
for me, it was kind of just like if I get drafted, I don't care what round it is. It's like it's a blessing.
Yeah.
So I'm like it's a blessing, and he told me ahead of time. He kind of told me Orlando was really interested in me.
Hmm.
Told me Orlando was interested in me and everything. A couple other teams, but he was like, we'll just have to see because the draft is kind of just like whoever gets the pick first, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what I mean. So I was just like, damn, like my nerves that day, like the people that came to watch it with me, they're like, yo, like why you not eating? I'm like, bro, I can't. I'm in
uh,
a tracksuit. It's hot. Like I'm sweating through the tracksuit. I'm like, bro, like, and then I see, yeah, when the numbers came up, first pick came. I don't know who it was, Charlotte or whatever, and then
yeah.
Orlando bought the second pick, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit,
No way.
yeah,
Yeah.
they bought the second pick. I'm like, no, like you feel me? So I like
They're coming for me.
the thing is, I knew Orlando was interested, but they didn't know. Like the people that I was with, they didn't know, so they're just
Oh,
like I
yeah.
knew. So when Orlando name came up, I'm like, oh, you know, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so it came, and then they drafted Shaq Muhammad. That's my boy,
Yeah.
yeah, Shaq Muhammad. So they dropped Shaq Muhammad. I'm like, oh, you feel me? That's lit. And then fourth pick, fifth pick, sixth. They had the sixth pick too, so they had a second and a sixth. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, like this might be it. It came. They don't know, but I know, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? Sixth pick came. They took Duncan McGuire, the dude that I played in the Final Four. That's my man
Yeah.
too. Like we all get along. That's my boy. But he got picked, and I'm like, but there was also like it was like 7, 8, 9, like the numbers after that. There were also other teams that were interested in me, so I could have been like, so I was just like, yo, what the
Yeah.
and then 17 came, and I'm just like, Orlando. Like the only one. Oh yeah, my brother knew. Salim knew because I told Salim like I was telling him like Orlando might pick me up. So he took
Yeah.
his phone out. He took his phone out. Everyone's like, "Why are you taking your phone out?" And then in there, 17 came, and then they were like, Abdi Salim. And I'm like, nah, like I heard my name, and I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Everyone's getting hype, and I'm just like, shit, like it's a blessing, you know. So
Crazy.
it was a good day. It was definitely a good day. Top five.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. I mean, you finally realizing your long-term dream of being a professional soccer player. Um, when did you hire an agent? You mentioned that you were talking to them before the draft.
So with an agent, with my agent, I was originally so he knew my agent knew of me, like we knew of each other
Mhm.
before I got hurt, like before I got hurt in 2020 or whatever. But then I got
Yeah.
hurt, so it was kind of just like okay, let him recover. Let's see how he comes back. So after I came back, it was during the summer when I went to go play with Ocean City.
Mm.
Went to New Jersey. I played USL two. Towards the end of the season, like some other player that he was working with texted me and was like, "Yo, like my agent wants to talk to you," and I'm like, "Oh, bet." So I like throughout, I wasn't signed to him at the time, but we were just speaking and all that. So he was watching my games, like
Mm.
he was helping me out at the time, but just I wasn't really signed yet. And then I was with him towards probably like July all the way up to up to now, and I made it official the day before the draft.
Mm.
Like you need an agent for all that stuff to
Yeah.
talk to coaches. So I'm like, so I said I've been with him for like 4 months before that. So I'm like,
Nice.
that's my man's man.
That's dope. That's really dope. What has adjustment been like to the professional game, right? I mean, I think you talk about it going to the academy and then Division college. I think as you go up the level, like the speed of play, your time on the ball, your decision making, all of that becomes a lot more important. What has that just been like for you?
Nah, this level was crazy, bro. Like I remember my preseason, bro. Like the fitness required. Like I told you, the fitness, bro. Fitness. That joint had me on, bro. I almost like told him like, yeah, I quit. Like I'm not doing this no more. But the fitness, bro. It had me almost start writing diaries. Like I was gonna like write my like a diary. Like yo, like I don't know if I could. Sorry. I swear, bro. Like, but it was the fitness, it's not like, bro, because that my athleticism helped me in college and in academy.
Yeah,
Here, these boys is athletic too. You know, don't get it twisted.
yeah, yeah,
So it's not
yeah,
like I'm not the fastest. I'm not the strongest. Like I'm not the most athletic here. You know, so my
yeah,
athleticism wasn't really helping. They were obviously way more technical than me. The
yeah.
speed of play was obviously faster. Like all that stuff, the experience. So the first couple of months, I mean, even now, I'm still getting used to it. You know, but the
Hmm.
speed of play, they just played. They're so like the mistakes you would make in college are not the mistakes you like. You make that mistake here, they'll be like, "The fuck? Do you know how to play soccer?" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the mistakes you make in college or wherever else, compared to the mistakes you make, they don't make the mistakes here. They don't make that. You know what I mean? Like a pass, they don't make stuff. They don't miss stuff like that. So like I'm still getting used to that. Just the being they're really clean on like first touch pass. They
hmm.
really smart. Like some of the midfielders, I'm like, bro, how y'all play like this? Like
Yeah.
how long it took y'all to play
Pros.
like this? Yeah, like they're really experienced. Experience plays a big role. Your technical
Yeah,
ability plays a big role, and just your preparation plays a really big role. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
they're really pros. That's it was like a wake up call. Like yo, these boys is really pros. You know, like I gotta be in loop with them. So just throughout the preseason, like I was just like I would follow like for one of the starting center backs. He's experienced. He's really good too.
Hmm.
I would just like try to follow whatever they're doing. One of the experienced players, I follow what they're doing. There was a couple young guys on the team too, like doing the first preseason. So we would you know what I mean. We would help each other out. We'll learn stuff from each other. So it was good. We still learning now, you know. So we
Yeah,
still learning now.
yeah.
So it's good though.
It, it takes some time, but
Definitely, yeah.
it's probably right reports there, looking over the senior players and trying to assess what they're doing and trying to copy that because they've done it and they've been there, right? Um, you made your MLS debut against FC Cincinnati earlier this year. You actually played really well. I watched that game. You defended well. You had a couple of blocks. You were calm on the ball. You know, passing to the midfielders and the forwards. Talk to us about that experience and what it was like to make that debut.
Nah, it was like it happened early. Like it happened earlier than I would have thought. You know, the debut
Hmm.
because we were in the Champions League, the Concacaf Champions League. So we're in that. So it was like 2 games, 3 games a week, and this ain't college. You can't do no 3 games a week here. You know. So it was like 2 games, and we did like a rotation for the MLS game. So
Yeah.
they're like, so they told me like I had it like you would know if you're starting or not, like maybe like Monday if the game's on Saturday. So like I'm on the starting lineup, but I'm like, oh, like you know what I mean? And like we had an injury at the center back, so like I would fill like before that I'd fill in, you know what I mean? So it wasn't
Yeah.
I'd play. But, like I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing set pieces with the starting group. I'm doing this. I'm like, and then they tell me eventually like, yeah, you're gonna play, like you're gonna make your debut, and I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, damn, you know. So the night before, like the debut, I'm like, I can't think about this too much. This ain't no college. This ain't no, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? None of that. Like I'm not even gonna try to think about it too much. So it came, the game came. I'm in the lock. It hit me in the locker room. Locker room. I'm like, yo, I'm really about to like this. You know, it's my pro debut. Like like this ain't little kid stuff no more. You only get one of these. You know.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I gotta play good, do the simple stuff right, stuff like that. I'm in the tunnel, and I'm like, yo, this really the debut. I'm looking around like, damn, like we walk out, the fans. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to think about it too much and everything, but then it came, bro. Like within like the first minute, 2 minutes, like 5 minutes, they played the ball in behind me. The dude almost scored. I don't know if you remember that. Like
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
That
like,
was the only one. That was the only one play though.
yeah,
That you.
I'm like, that was literally my first like interaction of the game, and I'm like, damn, like this shit might be hard as hell. Like, damn, this about to be hard as hell. They about to expose me, bro. But then after that, I was just like, all right, let me just lock in. Like, let me just lock in.
Yeah.
I did whatever I had to do. It was a good game, clean sheet. I don't really remember much chances they had. I mean, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was a good game, good debut, 90 minutes. I'm like, I take it, you know. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
a lot of coaches was like, yeah, like good game, stuff like that. You played good, like you look like you fit in. So I'm like, all right, that's perfect. That's all right. You know what I mean? So it was
That's
good.
awesome,
Good
man.
debut.
That's awesome.
Good debut.
Crazy. And then you also had the opportunity to play against Wayne Rooney's DC United, and I watched that game too. Up against Benteke. Talk to us about that experience. What was that like?
Bro, so like same thing. So the same thing. So we had the Champions League game the midweek after that, and then like I was like I played well in the first game, so maybe I'd play. Like I don't know, maybe I'd play.
Yeah.
And eventually I seen it, and I'm like, okay, I'm playing, and I'm like we do like a little scouting, and I'm like the strike. They're like, yeah, the striker's really strong, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, I'm like okay, like physical player, you know. They send me the they send me the little video. We do the videos. It says Benteke. I'm reading. I'm like Benteke. I'm like, nah, this ain't the Benteke I'm thinking, bro. So I'm actually like it's Benteke. I'm like, so my second pro game.
Wow.
When I first get to the field, bro, first of all, their field is shit. The field is shit.
Yeah.
I was using the cleats I used in college. Like I barely have studs on them. Like I was slipping and shit. And then, I mean, second of all, fucking Benteke. My second game, I went from facing college players to Benteke in my second professional game. You know,
Wow.
you know how those NBA players they'd be like, oh my welcome to the league moment, welcome to the league. That was my
Yeah.
welcome to the league game. After that game, I'm like, yo, Benteke, you a different breed, bro. Like
Yeah.
it was nah. There was one like you said you watched the game. There was one like I missed the header, and he was like
Yeah.
the box. I'm like. But he's smart, bro. Because at 1 second, but the thing is, I don't know if you really watch me. I don't know if you watch like my college games much. I would never
Yeah.
miss a header. Yeah, you played against. Like, I would never miss.
Yeah. I've seen most of your college games. Yeah. Yeah.
I would
You're pretty
never.
good at the headers.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
never miss a header. But that
The timing was off. The timing was off, I think.
that header right there, it wasn't even the time and the ball. So Benteke was next to me, and I'm holding him. So they're like in training, they're like, oh, the striker, hold him, hold him. So I'm holding, I'm grabbing him. He's next to me. I'm looking. The ball gets crossed. I'm still thinking he's next to me, right? And it gets crossed, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this ain't no regular striker. This is Benteke. He gonna try to bite this shit or something. He gonna try to guard me. He gonna try to do something nasty on me, you know. So when the ball came, I put my head like this, thinking Benteke was right here, and I thought he was gonna like bite it or whatever. So I closed my eyes. So I was like, I'm about to get kicked in my face. Let me close my eyes so it just doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? So I put my head like this, close my eyes, and I'm like, okay, he about to kick it. It goes past my head. I open my eyes. I look back. He's like 10 yards away from me. I'm like, nah. I'm like,
Uh,
nah. It falls to him. I'm like, yo, no way. I just screwed this up. Man, goalie made a crazy save. He saved me.
yeah, I remember that. I remember that
Yeah,
play. I was thinking of a different play, but yeah, I remember that play too.
yeah, he saved
Wow.
me. I'm like, yo. I'm like, nah. I'm like, yo, I just missed this whole header in front of this in this MLS game, my second game. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn. So it came, and I'm like, man, it is what it is. Second game, like I was some of the fan. I got pulled out at half because
Yeah,
they switched formations and they're like, we got to sacrifice center back. So like, man, they
yeah.
sacrificed me. It is what it is. It's fine. So they sacrificed me, but I'm just like, bro. I mean, it was a good
Wow.
experience, but like after that game, I was like, now I know, like, you know what I mean? Like when you're gonna play, there's levels to this, you know? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, you made it to the MLS, like blah blah blah, but there's levels, like there's some experience.
yeah. He played in the Prem for a reason, bro.
Feel me? Yeah, so I'm like, bro, like there's levels to this. This dude just did this, like, you know what I mean? There's levels to this. So I'm like, I just took it as a positive.
Yeah,
They were despite the mistake, most of the coaches they were like, man, it's your second game. You face Benteke, like not, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, who gonna stop Benteke? Like it's hard to stop him, you know. And it's your second game.
yeah.
It is what it is. But it was good. I learned a lot from that. So it was happy that happened.
Nice,
Rooney though,
nice.
I shook his hand after the game though. You know we love Rooney, man.
Yeah. Did you get an autograph or anything, or just
Nah,
just
nah.
just shook?
I couldn't act like that. I couldn't. I couldn't, bro. I held it in. I'm like,
You're pro. You're pro. You're pro now.
you know
You
me?
can't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't do that. Like I shook his hand, you know, and then that's it. Like, I couldn't. Like if I wasn't pro, I'd be like, bro, let me get an autograph,
yeah,
take a picture. But we
yeah.
go, you know what I mean?
I respect it. I respect it. I think I might have caved in and been like, "Hey, man," like in the locker room, be like, "Hey, you mind
Nah,
signing this real quick?"
I was itching to, you know, but like
Yeah,
even Benteke, like I was talking to Benteke, I'm like, bro, you big as hell, like you
yeah,
really tall, you really shit, like you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
your physical stat, like you big, bro. Like I didn't think he
yeah,
was this tall. Like he's like 6'5" or like built. I'm like, nah, bro. But I was
yeah,
talking to him and all that, but he's chill. He's a nice dude, but he doesn't talk though.
yeah.
He played. He don't talk to me, bro.
Wow.
Like, I'll try to talk to
I
him.
I remember one play actually. I think he went up for a header, and then you give him a little nudge, and I think the ref missed it, and you could see him mouthing. He's like, "Ref, he pushed me. He
Yeah,
pushed me."
you're saying
You
yeah,
remember that? You remember that play?
he brought it, but like he chested, but like he missed it or it bounced somewhere or whatever. But when it came, I'm like, I'm not beating him in the air. So when he
Yeah.
just touched it, I kind of just pushed him, and then he's
Uh,
like, "Yeah, you touched me," and I'm just looking at him. What you want me to do, bro? You 6'6", like what you want me to do? But yeah,
yeah.
he's a good guy though, good guy.
Crazy stories. Like you recently got called up to the under 23 Somalia national team. Talk to us about the opportunity to be able to represent them, and what that means for you.
Yeah, so with Somalian national team, I got dual citizenship. So I'm
Yeah.
Kenyan. I was born in Kenya, and
Hmm.
my mom's Somalian.
Mm.
Yeah, my mom's Somalian. My dad got some Somalian in him too. So like I could play. Like I'm eligible to play for them.
Yeah.
Originally, I was supposed to play. I got caught up under 20 with them. I got caught up under 20 back in COVID year. So I got
Yeah.
caught up COVID year, but it was COVID year, and like you know, COVID. Like they were saying, if you go to Africa, you're not coming back. You're gonna be stuck there.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let me not even risk it. You know, let me not even risk it going over there because what if COVID happens and they shut down the country and I can't come back and I'm in Africa. You know, like just chilling in Africa. I still got school
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let me just not go for this one. And then I got caught up again for the under 21, but I just tore my ACL. So I couldn't even go, you know. So I got
Wow.
my ACL, so I couldn't go. And then and then the year after that came, blah blah, blah and then I just got caught up now for the under 23. So it's good though. I mean, it's bound to. I got a little injury, 2 weeks, two
Yeah.
weeks injury, but for
Yeah.
some reason, every time they call me up, something happens. So I think they, I think they're a little cursed, but it'll be fun. It'll
Yeah.
be fun.
Okay. Okay. I guess last question for you before we switch to a different segment. Any advice for young players looking to go professional?
Uh, yeah, bro. Shit, I'd say everyone's timing is different. You know what I mean? Everyone's timing is different. Just cause someone's doing something right now doesn't mean you got to be doing exactly what they're doing. You know what I mean? So like, for example, when I was in the academy, I was like, I'm not going to college. I'm not going to college. Like I'll see people get signed to to the first team, like some of the young guys, I'm like, no, no, I gotta do that. If I don't do that, like, you know what I mean, I'll make it.
Yeah.
But everyone's timing is different. Like when your time comes, it comes. You're gonna get an opportunity. You're gonna get at least one opportunity. It's just it's your choice to take it or not. Like what you do when you take it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the timing and
Okay.
two, I would say I'll say the fundamentals, just kind of just the fundamentals, just the basics of the game, like the passing, the touch, like the basics, because the basics will take you a long way. You know what I mean? So the basics will take you a long way. Another one I'd say is don't focus too much. Like don't focus too much. Strengthen your weaknesses, but strengthening your strengths, bro. Like do strengthen what you're good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, work on your weaknesses, but at the end of the day, you want to work on what you're good at. You want to be really good at what you're good at. So
Yeah.
I would say work on what you're really good at. Work on what you're weak at too, but don't neglect what you're really good at and just not do
Yeah.
it because you know what I mean. Just because you're already good at it. So strengthen that, sharpen that, and also sharpen your weaknesses. And
Nice.
that's one thing I'm doing right now. So for example, let's say my left foot is weak, but I'm also let's say I'm also good in the air. Training or after training, I'd still work on headers, but I would still do left foot. You know what I mean? So not just working on your
Yeah.
weaknesses, but sharpen your strengths too. So
That makes sense. Really, really insightful advice there. I guess so. Now for the last segment of the podcast is just the rapid fire. So you got to give me an answer in a short period of time. Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi, bro, Messi. Big Ronaldo fan, but Messi.
Okay, respect it. Start one, bench one, and sell one. Benzema, Lewandowski, Luis Suarez.
Benzema, Lewandowski, Luis Suarez. Um, I'd start. I'd start Benzema. I'd no, I'd start Suarez. I'd start Suarez. I'd the other one was bench. You said
Yeah,
yeah, I'd bench Benzema.
bench one.
Yeah, I'd bench Benzema and I'd sell Lewandowski.
All right. Appreciate you getting. We're running short on time here, but appreciate you getting on the podcast. Really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm sure our viewers will too as well.
Nah, for sure, man. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for taking the time out of your day to listen and support this podcast. It is very much appreciated. Please follow the show if you don't already do so. The show can be found on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and the rest of the other major platforms. As always, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Much love. This show is produced by Yak Awok and original music by Scott Holmes.